presenting one, so please welcome Doris Torres, President of Stamm International, to the stage. Come on up, Doris. She's a pleasant gal, and she has a pleasant boss, Urs Hebeisen. It's a difficult name to pronounce, but he's a really nice fella, unable to be here today. He was really, really disappointed. Yeah, come on up, Doris, and we're going to have a good story.
Good morning. I don't think we have enough time, so I have to go straight to the presentation. Okay, I will be presenting the Philippine Multimodal Transport and Logistics Industry Roadmap, and that is actually crafted by the industry. Okay, these are the proponents, and then we have the group discussions as our means of coming up with the study and research. And I have actually, we have actually divided our presentations into five aspects. One is the vision, the challenges and the issues, the strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities and threats, strategies and timelines, and recommendations. Now we go to the vision. We have realized that we are nowhere. As Charlie has indicated earlier, that we are really behind our neighbors. So we came up with the realization that, hey, we would like to put Philippines on the map. Okay, and this is the vision that we have. For the industry to be competitive logistic hub in Southeast Asia by 2030 with an integrated multimodal transport system. And that is basically the most pressing activity for us. Okay? Challenges and issues, where there are many. And these are actually the inputs coming from the participants on the focus group discussions that we had. Okay, the redundant documentation, unclear and poorly thought out policies, non-compliance. Charlie mentioned already earlier the informal payments, inadequate physical infrastructure. Let's go to this one by one. Redundant in the sense that what you submit to BIR, you have to do it again with the Bureau of Customs, and BIR and Bureau of Customs are on the same agency under Department of Finance. So that is what we call redundancy. The national single window. Well, not everybody in the government agencies are plugged in to this one. For now, we still have national single windows with the S. Okay? And we have the transportation and handling of dangerous goods. For a company who is handling dangerous goods, we have to consider a lot. While the cargo is still on the waters, you get permits from Coast Guard. When it's in the port, it is under Philippine Ports Authority. When it gets out of the port, either you go to the off-dock CFS, that is under Bureau of Customs. And when you release the cargo and have it delivered to the customer, it's either PDEA, DENR, Bureau of Fire. So you can just imagine how many agencies you have to go through in order to have a chemical, dangerous goods to be delivered. So that's one of the challenges actually identified. And then shipping documents, hard copies of manifest. I know a lot of forwarders are here. You knew already that it has been, the submission of manifest has been regulated already, and it has to be done electronically before the vessel's arrival. But lo and behold, it's already done electronically. You still have to submit 7 copies to hard copies to different units in the Bureau of Customs. So that's redundancy. Unclear and poorly thought out government regulations. Again, the ICC, BCC accreditation, the Joint Administrative Order on higher penalties for colorum trucks, Government's Information Dissemination Program public consultations. During the port congestion, we have seen basically a perfect disaster. It's really a perfect disaster because at the time when Manila city government announced that they're going to have to implement a full daytime truck ban, then came the Bureau of Customs and the BIR saying, oh, the importers and the brokers has to be accredited. Adding to that pain of doing logistics, here comes the LTO, LTFRB joint administrative order saying that trucks doing business for public have to have a yellow plate. And then all this happens in the same quarter as when we have the port congestion. So that was a perfect disaster in the sense that the importers can no longer import until they are being accredited by the BIR and Bureau of Customs. And on the other hand, here's the LTO, LTFRB saying that you cannot use trucks without the yellow plates. And then there was no government information dissemination in place. So what the association did was to come up with a forum inviting all stakeholders and even the government agencies to come and explain to us what are these regulations impact on our business. And that is when we have this organized forum. And then non-compliance. We have set up standard rates like the warehousing and the sea freight forwarders rates, and that is under PSB, Philippine Shippers Bureau, and that is under the Bureau of Customs. But nobody is really using these rates. Everybody is using their own standard rates. So we have different standards, okay? Informal payments. Inadequate physical infrastructure. We have roads, we have seaports, airports, and railway. Roads, we know for a fact that the existing roads that we have is not actually in pace with the growth that the economy is actually going through. There are no expansions in road. There are no roads in place where it is needed. Let's say, for example, at the port, we know that once the Manila government says you cannot ply into this road, then we're stuck up. So there are no connecting roads linking the ports to the business clusters. So that is an inadequate infrastructure. We are lacking roads. And then seaports. We have a lot of domestic ports, but these are poorly equipped. And only domestic ships, even the domestic ships has a hard time actually operating in these ports. And then we have airports. We talk about passengers, what we fail to discuss about. What about cargo? What about those baggages? So from Terminal 3, we don't have any terminal for cargo, so we have to go to other terminals to store the cargo. Then railway, that is at this time still invisible, okay? And we need that. We really need that for pushing through green logistics and efficiency in the transport also. Strengths and weaknesses. Okay, human resources. Well, obviously, with our population, 100 million, we have a lot of workforce. Then we come to the weaknesses. I have already discussed it to you, the inadequate transport infrastructure, fragmented industry in the sense that you have to go to several government agencies to operate a single delivery because of control and regulations. Then we have unclear government regulations, limited role of government in the supply chain, and unaligned national and local government policies. Okay. Opportunities, well, obviously we have a large domestic market, and that is actually pushing our the logistic industry on excellence of service. And ASEAN economic integration, well, soon, if we are integrated, we will be serving 600 million people. Threats, okay, calamities, these are man-made and natural. Okay. Entry of more competitive foreign firms, lack of awareness of green logistics, and these are the threats that we are facing right now. And strategies and timelines, well, I don't have to go through it because Charlie has already discussed it earlier. I would like to go straight to the recommendations. Here are the key recommendations from the stakeholders. It's pretty straightforward. Craft an integrated long-term national master plan for supply chain and logistics in consultation with all stakeholders. This master plan must include national and infrastructure requirement. Okay. Create a government body on supply chain and logistics to coordinate all initiatives related to the supply chain and to follow through on implementation and compliance of policies. Now, this is actually what happened during the time of Yolanda. There are a lot of people who wanted to do their own thing, but it was not, I mean, people are already trying to do it themselves, to give assistance themselves, but there was no coordinating body for this one, and logistics was really at a chaos at that time. Not only the infrastructure hindering the performance, but also lack of somebody who would do the conductor for all of the activities in logistics. Continuously develop transport infrastructure, particularly the road network, to cater the projected growth of the Philippine economy. We have to have this. Further expand Manila ports along with Batangas and Subic ports to keep pace with the expected volume growth owing to an expanding economy. This expansion will, however, only be meaningful if there is a corresponding expansion of port support facilities outside the ports, like roads, warehouse, even the banks, even other allied business in the logistics, like the banks, the truckers. Then streamline and harmonize, automate processes. So I hope that with the development of national single window, we can achieve this one. And that is the presentation. Thank you.